GoStop.com has a grid scope on sale for $18.95. Click on the banner ad at the top of the Talk of the Night website and get shopping today. GoStop.com, your one-stop shop for all your ghost hunting needs.
There we are. I'm back.
Okay, we're back with my guest. Sorry about that, folks. My internet connection keeps wanting to cut in and out. I thought it might be the heat from my heater, but I don't even have my heater on right now during the show because I don't want it messing up my show. So we are back with my guest. Hopefully, we still got the listeners and everything like that. It should.
Yeah.
It wasn't out too long. So
No.
Okay. Let me find out if they can hear us now. Now, on your website, looking at that real quick, under Radio Archives, it's got live radio, channeling, healing, light workers, inspirational, astro. Is that just like the titles of the different podcasts, or is it the kind of work that you do?
Oh no, they are interviews that I done with people who specialise in that particular field. So so occasionally, I when I get a chance, I like to chat with people, say who are light workers or people that remove bad energy from places and so on and so forth. So it just adds a little bit of diversity. Instead of people hearing about me all the time, they can go and hear how other people work and the other things that people do.
Okay, yeah, because I know, like me, like I said, I mentioned about me having that ability to do cleansing, because a lot of times I get called before even somebody from the Catholic Church or any kind of church gets called. That's just how my success rating is. I mean, there was one house that I did a cleansing. They used the Ouija board, and of course I used to think the Ouija board was bad until I actually took the time to learn that it wasn't the board itself, but it was the intent put into it.
There you are. Yeah. And I mean, for me, again, this is where everyone's different. I work in a physical circle sometimes, and we do table tapping, where the table rocks backwards and forwards. Now, my guides have told me that for me, this is absolutely safe for me, and I can use this providing I have obviously the good intention and it's safe. But for me, they specifically told me not to touch the Ouija board. I don't know why. I haven't questioned it, and that's the thing about when you get involved with spirit communication. If your guide tells you personally don't touch it, then it would be foolish, therefore, for me to mess with it. I kind of think along the lines with you that, it is the intention behind it, the personality. There's something about the Ouija board that allows access to, let's say, less than benevolent spirit. They're not all bad. Some are jokers. And
I'm pretty sure I'll be the same way once I cross into the spirit world. I'll be one of those jokers that likes to play pranks.
Yeah, and why not? But if the question was asked me, do you think the Ouija board is safe? I would say I wouldn't touch the Ouija board. It's certainly until you know more about it. There's other things that you can be doing. Join a circle where there is table tapping, where it's involved with an experienced leader who knows how to formulate things, who knows how to make sure it's completely safe. And I find the table tapping, for example, you get some incredible results with it. But it's not something somebody on their own should do either. That's absolutely clear. Through mental mediumship, I don't know anybody doing mental mediumship that has got in any trouble whatsoever. People do get in trouble when they do physical mediumship because they don't have the experience and they don't know really what they're letting themselves in for a lot of the time. So go to a circle if you want to do development in physical mediumship, and then see where that takes you. That would be the wise thing to do. And the more you get to know your guide, the more you can trust them. And it's the feeling also. The feeling. Learn to get in touch with feeling, because spirit will work with feeling. And I get a shiver down my spine, and that I also know the difference between a wonderful, beautiful shiver and something with this isn't good. So it's learning again, isn't it? And being really active and showing a lot of intention. That's the way we do it. It's actually learning a new language, in fact. So that's the best way to look at it.
Yeah, because like I said, this house they were selling and everything like that, and it has a more weird end to the story, which I'll mention and get your thoughts on it. But I was doing the cleansing, and of course, when I do cleansing of homes, I tell the people that are investigating the house with me to stay outside the area where I'm doing the cleansing for their protection. Yeah, because I know exactly what I'm doing, but stay out there for my protection, just in case you do have to come in there and save me. But no, I did the cleansing of this home where there was a Ouija board used, and they were standing outside the room. I had the door closed. I was doing my thing. Wait. Okay, I don't know if, because I don't want to answer the call and not go through that whole thing again. Right. So for anybody calling right now, I'm sorry, just pop in the chat, give me your question, and I'll relay the message. But going back to what I was talking about, I was doing the cleansing, and they saw this dark gray mist run from room to room. This thing was actually running from me.
Wow.
Just because of the light, just because of the light that I put off when I'm doing cleansing of homes.
Yeah.
And it, like I said, it took lots of years to learn that. But this house, like I said, they were selling, and this is what I want to get your thought on.
Right.
Sorry. Just closing out that caller. Oh. And they're going to call back. I don't know why.
Right.
And I don't want to answer it because they'll put you on hold and I'll have a trouble again.
Okay.
But no, I was doing, this house had no power or anything like that. We were, it was of course in August, 105 degrees outside. So we're inside a house in a closed up room with 15, 20 of us. And it must have been 120 degrees inside that house with all of us there.
Yeah.
And we're connecting with the spirit of the grandfather, the people that live there, or were moving out.
Right.
And as soon as we were done getting all the answers, this person really wants to get through. Let me finish my story for that person that's listening, and then I'll try and answer it.
Okay.
Okay. So, so I was standing. It was probably about a 10 by 12 room. Of course, everything was closed up. The windows were closed. The door was closed, and everything like that. And I opened up a doorway to where this grandfather's spirit could cross over into that higher plane, that light, if that's what they perceived and everything like that. And people across the room 10 feet away from me, actually the whole room, but even 10 feet away from me, as soon as I opened that door and helped his energy cross on into that light, that higher plane, they felt like a cold. And I'm getting that cold shiver. But they felt like a cold air conditioner blast, and it went from
Yeah.
120 degrees in that 120 degrees in that room with all of us, and we had one of those thermometer guns. It
Yeah.
went from 120 to down to 70 when that happened,
Wow.
and I
Yeah.
could never explain it.
Well, that is clearly spirit, especially if you feel that drop. With spirit, first thing I'd like to say there was that even though that was a cleansing, there was certainly rescue work going on there. I don't know if it was to help the grandfather cross over, but there was definitely rescue work going on. And when we do rescue work, that always happens. Temperature drop like you can't believe. And when you sit in a circle, if anybody is new or anybody does sit in a circle, when you do a meditation in a circle and spirit is drawing cold, the knees start to get cold, or you feel the sensation around the forehead. That is spirit drawing close to you. Why the temperature drops, no one's ever explained that to me. But we know that it is spirit, and so I fully understand when you say the temperature drops like that. There was absolutely spirit so close to you there in that room, and I think you probably sent them off. You've done the healing process, and away they went. And I would imagine that the temperature restored to quite back.
Oh yeah,
to
as soon as I felt that he passed into that light, that higher plane, I automatically close that door, because if you leave those doorways open, you're liable to let something in that you don't want there.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I mean that this is obviously, you're a powerful man in that healing and cleansing, and well, yeah, it was a rescue work, a form of rescue work there, because when we see these dark shadows and things, we have to bear in mind that our mind has been programmed from television and scary comic books or scary books and things like this. So we've got a preconception that anything that's shadowy and that would zip through is downright evil. No, it could just be an earthbound spirit, that's all. An unhappy spirit that's earthbound, doesn't want to leave this place, and so is going to make people uncomfortable in this house so that they don't find a buyer or a seller. Some people actually come to terms with a spirit, don't they? Say, okay, you can stay, but leave us alone and we won't bother you. And everyone lives happily. The spirit steps back and lives in its space. We had a little bit of a problem with the house that we moved in here. First, when we first moved in, we'd come home and the lights would be back on again, and all this kind of stuff. The bell would ring, so on and so forth. And so I just had to sit down and speak with the owner of the house who'd passed on. This was the reason why we bought it. And I just assured him that I wasn't going to turn his house upside down, because we bought it because we liked the kitchen units, we liked the old tradition of the way he done everything, and we decided we wanted to keep it like this. And once I spoke with him and explained all this, all the funny stuff stopped, and he moved back. But I also think with him, it wasn't him being earthbound or benevolent or malevolent. I think he just wanted to let me know still that, okay, I've only just passed over the other side. This is still my house. He wanted me to know that, And, he's a beautiful soul now. Sometimes he pops in just to see how things are. And that's reinforced because the neighbour next door used to be a couple. So obviously he doesn't go too far from this environment when he wants to get close. So I mean, that's the way it works for me. But I want to assure people that there is nothing to fear. It's so unlikely that you're going to experience something from a Hollywood movie, like we started off saying. But you have to call someone in like yourself who knows what they're doing, and this is the best way to deal with it. Yeah.
Now I had a listener want to know because he sees like shadow people all the time,
Yeah. Okay.
and he was wondering, is there something there that might be given, trying to give him a message?
Okay. Yeah. Let's have a look at
That
this.
person keeps calling me. Hold on, let me try to answer this real quick. I'll get back to you, and we'll get
Okay.
back to that real quick. Okay, Mike, you there? Or hello?
Hello.
Hey,
Hey.
Tori. I have not figured out the whole Skype thing. I'm sorry. I've been
Oh,
seeing you
no,
call.
no. Don't worry about that. My Skype's not working. I just want to ask the gentleman if there's anything he sees for the year for me as far as business-wise. That's all I want to know.
Okay. All right, I'll ask.
All right.
All right. All right, so for those listening, let's end that call and hopefully get Mike back on the air. All right, Mike, you're back on the air. Okay.
Yeah.
I just the person wanted to find out something, so I'll relay that. But get back to the whole thing about the shadow people and stuff like that.
Right. Okay. So he's been seeing shadows. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Right. So. Okay, the first thing, and I've just got a little shiver there. The first thing that comes through is that these shadows. It really depends. You know, generally, I have found that perhaps they're not the most benevolent. Now, it doesn't mean that they're bad or they're evil. I want to assure this person the spirits in the higher realms generally don't flash by in shadows and stuff unless we're doing physical mediumship. The lights are down and we've got an infrared light, and then you can see transfiguration, or you might see the outline of spirit on the walls. But if they're like these shadows, it really shouldn't be. What comes to mind, thank you, is that I feel that this person has experienced, I'm going to use the word trauma, but it might not be as dramatic as the word trauma, but he experienced something that sort of shocked him a little bit and shifted his consciousness a little bit to allow him to see this type of thing. So there was something that happened personally with it, and I want to go back about 6 months with this that created this opportunity, I put it, to see the shadow people. I know you're not in any harm with this, and I know you're well protected with this. We all are. The key here with this person, as with all of these things, is to absolutely show no fear, because the shadow type of energy only nourishes, if you like, on fear, and it's a shame we never got into sleep paralysis or the old hag syndrome. But this is what's coming through. All the person has to do here, if he's really uncomfortable with it, and I would suggest to get these shadow people to leave him alone, is to do a prayer or mantra, whatever it means to him. But there's no harm there. There's no any, if he thinks he's going to, because I feel might be a suggestion that these things might be running amok or trying to possess. It isn't like that. It won't work like that. He's protected from spirit, but here's an opportunity to show his own, thank you, there we go, to express his own power, and he can get rid of this himself by doing his own personal mantra, whatever is powerful to him, whatever works for him. For me, it's the Lord's Prayer. It's the only religious prayer that I do that has real power for me. For him, it might be something else, and from that, he'll be able to deal with it in a very, very effective way. I don't see it as too much of a problem. Clearly, if he can see this like this, he has some kind of spiritual gift as well. So that might be something he needs should work on, and see where that takes him. But yeah, a little bit more of the mantras or the chanting or the lighting of the candle, and some really positive and nice thoughts will take care of that very, very, very quickly. I don't know what you feel about that, because that sort of goes into your kind of work as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, I tell people, don't mess with me, because I mess with the dark. I deal with the darker stuff. If I can make them run, you better believe I can make you run.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Also, if this person calling in, he might want to watch some of the work of Teal Swan on YouTube. Teal, Teal Swan. She talks a lot about shadow people and the dark side, and he'll get some very, very useful information there that can help him work through the best way for him.
Okay, now I have the caller that I put you on hold for a second, trying to figure it out.
Right.
She wanted to know, do you see, and her name is Victoria, or she goes by Tori. She wanted to know, do you see anything for her in, like, business-wise in the future for her?
Okay, let's have a look here. Let's see what happens here. Okay. Right. What comes through here with Spirit is that you have to create this. Okay. What's being shown here is a lot of thinking going on, and a lot of ideas and a lot of possibilities. Okay. And certain stuff is getting put down, and certain plans are being laid. But what's coming through here is we need some action now. Okay. We just need some action. You don't have to give up anything. This can be a slow. In fact, they're advising this should be done slowly, diligently, and patiently. But the most important thing that's coming through is that it is within you, meaning her, meaning the lady. The power is within you, and they want her to understand that she does have the know-how, she does have the knowledge, and that she should actually start making real work. The paperwork is done now. They're saying the paperwork is done. Let's get this going. I don't know what field she's working in, but I do. Either she needs to be motivated, or this is to do with motivation or counselling of some kind of thing around like this. So thank you. She's got to start living by what she wants to do. There's the key. She has to live and work and behave as though the project that she's doing, that she really is part of it, and then it can happen. Of course it can happen. Let's see why it can happen. Okay. They want to give me a little bit of a timeline. If you can get this motivated, if you can get this going, you'll start to see fruition, really good fruition, round about August. It doesn't mean nothing's going to happen to August, but there'll be a little pinnacle, a little high point at August time, where you'll say, wow, this really is working, and it'll inspire you to carry on and to move on. I don't know why, but they do keep giving me the name Victoria, and they keep saying it's a very beautiful name, and it's a very suitable name for whatever she wants to be doing in this work. So I don't know if the name of her business she should just call Victoria or something like this, but they really like the name for the work that she's doing, and I can assume that perhaps that she was thinking about that as a possible name for a new enterprise that she's starting up, and that's what's coming through there.
Okay, well, I want to thank you for being on the show. It was great talking to you. The people are loving the readings that you gave them, even though we couldn't connect with them via Skype. But I'll take the time to actually learn before my guest on Wednesday night.
Good luck with that.
But I want to thank you again. If you want to stick around like 5 minutes after the show, and everything like that. But real quick before we end the show and everything like that, where can people find your work? What? Of course, I have a link up, but I want the listeners to hear it from you. Where can they find your work and stuff like that, and possibly talk to you personally? Yeah,
they can either go to www.sacredcircle.org.uk. Or they can go to Blog Talk Radio /sacred-circle. Circle, or just put Mike Cavalli in the search box. Actually, if you go to Google, put in Blog Talk Radio Evening of Clairvoyance, then usually the whole shebang comes up there of all the episodes. So there's all those various ways of finding that. I'd just like to point out, on the funny side of things, if they type Mike Cavalli in, you might find that Mike Cavalli is wanted by the FBI, has got a warrant for him. That's a completely different Mike Cavalli to me. So,
yeah, there are people out there with the same name, and it's like, no, that's not me. I swear, I didn't do it.
Yeah, not me. Yeah. So there we are. So they're the various ways that they can find me, and I'm a great believer in if they forget everything I've just said there, Spirit will find a way of getting them to find me if it's absolutely important for them. And that's the way it works for me.
All right. So I want to thank my guest Mike for coming on the show. Join me tomorrow night on Talking the Night Facebook page, as we're going to get into myths, folklores, and legends. And then, of course, my guest on Wednesday night for Talking the Night is Peter Spinogatti. I hope I pronounced his name right, but we're going to be talking about lack of relationships. So, for those listening to the show, I'm sorry about the whole Skype thing. I will figure it out. I promise you. But until tomorrow night with talking about on As Paranormal about myths, folklore, and legends, I shall see you on the dark side. Good night from Talking the Night.
There we go. Yeah. Right. See you on the dark side. Yeah. Why not? I mean, why not as well? We the important thing as well is we got to have a little bit of fun with things as well, haven't we? That's also terribly important. And when I used to do a couple of shows, and the opening thing for me was "Let's Get Ready to Rumble."